You remember the groovy theme. The talking dog, the meddling kids, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Is remembered as a harmless, spooky kids show. A comforting formula where the monster is never real and the world is always safe. But what if I told you creators Joe Ruby and Ken Spears weren't making a cartoon? They were programming a generation's distrust of authority and perception itself. This show isn't about solving mysteries. It's a Cold War-era primer on paranoia, gaslighting, and the collapse of shared truth. Beneath the chase scenes and laugh tracks lies a terrifying curriculum. Reality is a costume, and the people in charge are trying to scare you for profit. The monster isn't under the mask. The mask is the monster. Let's unmask it. Secret number 10. Mystery Inc. isn't a teen detective club, it's a cult. The gang doesn't have parents, schools, or homes. They live in a self-contained mobile unit, the Mystery Machine, funded by unexplained means, traveling from one manufactured crisis to another. Their dynamic is rigid. Fred, the unquestioned leader, Daphne, the managed asset, Velma, the conditionally valued intellect, Shaggy and Scooby, the designated scapegoats. This isn't friendship. It's a closed system with specialized roles, sustained by the constant presence of an external threat. They don't solve mysteries for justice or money. They solve them to perpetuate their own existence. The monster of the week isn't disrupting their lives. It defines them. They are addiction dressed as altruism. Secret number 9. Fred isn't a leader. He's a military-industrial complex puppet. Fred's plans are never intellectual. They are logistical exercises in trap building. His entire identity is constructing elaborate Rube Goldberg-style snares that always work on the first try. This isn't detective work. It's applied military tactics. His blonde hair, square jaw, and ascot aren't fashion choices. They are the aesthetic of Cold War American exceptionalism. He represents the belief that any problem can be solved with enough American ingenuity and rope. But note, his traps never catch the real criminal by accident. They only work on the costumed performer, the patsy. Fred isn't fighting crime. He's enforcing a script written by the actual villains. Secret number 8. Daphne isn't a fashionable damsel. She's a psychological operation. Daphne's constant kidnappings aren't narrative flaws. They are the point. She is the designated victim, the perpetual bait. Her role is to be captured, to activate the male rescue fantasy, and to be returned unharmed, smiling, her trauma never mentioned. This teaches 2 lessons. 1, female value is narrative utility, the catalyst for action, and 2, trauma is episodic. It ends when the credits roll. Her fashion, her apparent helplessness, is a weaponized performance of femininity that lures the monster into Fred's preordained trap. She isn't weak. She's the most crucial piece of the machine because her capture validates the entire cycle of violence and resolution. Secret number 7. Velma's intellect is a controlled substance. Velma's intelligence is celebrated, but it is rigidly contained. She deals in facts, logic, and deductive reasoning, but only about the fake monster. She never questions the gang's nomadic lifestyle, their funding, or the uncanny repetition of their adventures. Her famous line, "Jinkies," isn't an exclamation of discovery. It's a trademarked release valve for tension. She is allowed to be smart but not wise. She can solve the puzzle in front of her, but she must never question the game itself. She represents the co-opted intellectual, useful for system maintenance, dangerous only to those who fake the haunting, never to those who create the conditions for it. Secret number 6. Shaggy and Scooby aren't cowardly comic relief. They are the only sane ones. Shaggy and Scooby's terror isn't a joke. It's the correct biological response to danger. While the others treat each haunting as an intellectual puzzle, Shaggy and Scooby experience it as a legitimate threat to their survival. Their obsession with food isn't gluttony, it's anxiety-based coping. They are the id of the group, the unfiltered emotional response that the others, the superego Fred, the ego Velma, must suppress and mock to proceed. They are constantly punished for their instincts, blamed, left behind, used as bait. The show teaches you to distrust your own fear, to pathologize the survival impulse as cowardice, so you'll walk into the trap willingly. Secret number 5. The monsters are never real. That's the horror. The show's famous twist, Old Man Jenkins in a mask, is not reassuring. It's existentially devastating. It teaches that the world contains no supernatural wonder, no unknown frontiers. Every threat is banal, human, and financial. The phantom, the ghost, the witch. They are all real estate developers, disgruntled employees, or jewel thieves. This doesn't make the world safer. It makes it infinitely more corrupt. The message is, the only monsters are ordinary people with economic grievances, and the solution is to restore the property to its rightful, wealthy owner. The show evacuates the world of mystery and fills it with pure, calculated greed. Secret number 4. The villain's motive is always capital. Analyze the crimes. A real estate scam to devalue a property, an insurance fraud, a scheme to steal a fortune hidden in a mine, a plan to sabotage a business rival. The monsters are never ideologues, never revolutionaries, never psychologically complex. They are petty capitalists. Their tool is fear, their target is wealth, their enemy is the legitimate owner of capital. Mystery Inc. doesn't serve justice. They serve the status quo of property rights. They are the enforcement wing of a system that would rather believe in 1,000 ghosts than admit to one instance of legitimate economic despair driving a person to crime. Secret number 3, the unmasking isn't a triumph. It's a public humiliation ritual. The climax isn't an arrest, it's a stripping. The villain, caught in Fred's trap, is physically exposed before a gathering crowd. Their confession is coerced, not by law, but by shame. This is vigilante theater, not justice. It reinforces a social order where deviance, putting on a monster costume, is met with ritualistic exposure and reintegration. I would have gotten away with it if not for you, meddling kids. The police, when they arrive, are merely cleanup crew. The real power resides with the teenagers and their dog, a fantasy of anarchic youth authority that ultimately always restores the propertied order. Secret number 2, the mystery machine is a panopticon on wheels. Their vehicle isn't just transportation, it's a surveillance van. It carries their traps, tools of control, allows them to appear anywhere without explanation, and is painted in loud psychedelic colors that scream, "Look at us!" It is the perfect symbol of their role, highly visible agents of a hidden order. They are not outsiders. They are the mobile enforcement of normalcy, rolling into communities experiencing crises of belief, hauntings, and restoring the official reality. There are no ghosts, only crime. And crime is always individual, never systemic. Secret number 1. The formula is the trap. The show's repetitive structure, arrive, investigate, split up, get scared, set trap, unmask, isn't lazy writing. It is ideological conditioning. It teaches that all mysteries have the same solution. All fear is baseless. All deviation from the norm is a conspiracy of the greedy, and that a small group of self-appointed experts can always restore the truth. It kills curiosity by ritualizing discovery. It is a vaccine against critical thinking. inoculating you with the belief that if you just look behind the curtain, you'll find a greedy old man, and then everything can go back to normal. The greatest mystery Scooby-Doo ever presented is why we believed him when he told us the world was this simple. So what was the real mystery? Who stole the prize? Or who stole our ability to believe in the unexplained? Scooby-Doo didn't teach us to be brave. It taught us to be skeptical of everything except the system itself. It replaced the terror of the unknown with the banal horror of late-stage capitalism and called it a happy ending. The gang didn't protect us from monsters. They protected the idea that monsters don't exist. Only criminals do, and they're always someone you can unmask, shame, and hand over to the cops. Was Scooby-Doo a fun cartoon about a talking dog? Are we the meddling kids solving petty crimes? Or are we the ones in the mask desperately trying to make the world seem magical again? Knowing we'll be caught, unmasked, and told our fear was just a cheap costume, let us know in the comments. The archives are always open. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying disguise is the one that looks like normalcy.